I am the director of the mock trial program here at UCF. So we're kind of doing this informational session. I know we have something going on this afternoon. Around 6 o'clock, we're going to be doing our Law and Order. It's a little event that we had planned to do last week, but unfortunately, we got hacked, which was kind of terrible. And so what we wanted to do today was, because I know that some of you guys had questions about mock trial, what it is, how you sign up, what the program's about, and I wanted to take some time and answer some of those questions. So, well, you'll have an opportunity to ask me questions, and hopefully we have some people who are also on the team here. For example, Alicia. So if Alicia, you can say hi.
Hi, my name is Alicia.
Okay. And I'm trying to see if I got anybody else from the team on here yet.
She's registering right now.
Yeah, we've got a couple more of our team members coming in. They'll be able to answer some of your questions about how mock trial works, what's involved, how you get involved. And we'd love to have you try out for the team at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall semester. So let's start with what exactly is mock trial and what we are. So UCF has had a mock trial team since the mid-1990s, early 1990s. And we are an RSO, we're a registered student organization, okay? So we are governed by the rules of SGA, et cetera. Now, in the team, anybody can join the team. Everybody, we welcome everybody to join the team. You do not have to be a legal studies major. We have had majors from all over campus. Some of my favorite students have been, I had a physics major, which was really cool. We had a philosophy major, lots of engineering majors, business majors, political science, obviously legal studies, all across the board. So you don't have to really be focused on legal studies to get involved with this. We have two different kind of steps within the team. We have what are called our competing members and our non-competing members. So everybody's considered a member of the team. You have the constitution with the governing rules, and everybody pays the team dues and they participate in the team activities. If you want to be involved in our competing teams, then you have to do what we call our tryout process to join one of the competing teams. And the competing teams are what actually go on to the different competitions that we have across the country. Now, I'll talk about how those end up going this year versus what we've done in the past, all right? And maybe I should take a step back and tell you guys about myself before we go too much farther. So I'm Dr. K, and I am the program coordinator for legal studies. I've also been coaching the mock trial team since 2004. I took a step away for about 3 years, but basically I've been running the program since 2004. I am an actual attorney, graduated from UCF a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. We won't even talk about how it was before a lot of you were born, the earth was green, dinosaurs roamed the planet, that kind of stuff, okay? I practiced law here in Florida before I started teaching. I've always loved trial work, and I love teaching you guys how to do this. And the beauty about this is that it is something that it doesn't matter what you want to do with life. It doesn't matter if you want to be a trial attorney. It doesn't matter if you want to be an engineer. It doesn't matter if you want to be a teacher, a doctor. God, it doesn't matter what you want to do. The skills we help you learn in mock trial are going to help you no matter what career you choose. Because what we really focus on are your public speaking skills, your personal self-confidence, your ability to think on your feet, your analysis, your critical thinking, just your all around things that help regardless of what field you go into, okay? So when we look at whether you're going to be a competing member or a non-competing member, we're going to host tryouts, and we will be posting on our website, and we have a Google Forms. We have a tryout packet that we put out there, and we have people try out for our team as either an attorney or a witness, because what our teams are composed of are both attorneys and witnesses. So when we have our competing members, we have As an attorney, your job is going to be to do exactly what it sounds like. You're an attorney. And as a witness, you play the roles in the cases. So let me step back again and tell you about how a case comes about. So mock trial is governed by the American Mock Trial Association. It's called, the abbreviation is AMTA, A-M-T-A. And you can find them on the web at collegemocktrial.org, right? So they're the governing body. They've been in charge of undergraduate mock trials since 1985. And every year they issue a case packet. We get that case packet in about mid-August, and we start working that case. They alternate that case. Every year it's either a civil case or a criminal case. Last year it was a criminal case, which we all loved, right? So how many of my team members do I have now on? I know I've got Alicia on there. I've got Dearica, who's also a team member. She's smiling. And they loved last year's criminal case, didn't you, girls? I see both their faces, okay? We get this case in August, and we work this case and we prepare it. Now, when I say we prepare it, it means that we have to prepare it to go to trial as an attorney would, right? So the students take this case packet, and with the guidance of the coaches, we help them develop your case theory, your case themes. We decide who's going to be an attorney, who's doing an opening, a closing, who's directing what witness, who's crossing what witness, what witnesses do we call to help support our theories, and then we have to pick the right student to play the right witness. You know, who's going to be a better sympathetic witness? Who's going to be a better expert? Who's going to really convince a jury that they are a grieving victim or a grieving, in this case, in last year's case, it was a parent whose child had died. Alicia, who did you play last year in the case? You were a witness, weren't you?
Yeah, I ended up Lopez at the end of the year, Dr. Lopez.
So you were one of our experts last year.
Yeah,
and
I was Jordan.
Okay, and Dearica, you played our character witnesses. You were who else?
I played Corbin Dallas.
Okay, so Dearica got to play one of the case always has like crazy witnesses, and Dearica got to play one of the witnesses that happened to be the insane siblings of these people. So we get to do a lot with this. And the witnesses are as important to our case as our attorneys are. And I think that's something that sometimes students who are trying out think, oh, if I can't be an attorney, I don't want to play a role to this. When we go to competition, it's we're basically going on points, and a great witness can make or break a round the same way that a great attorney can make or break a round. You know, it's so important that our witnesses be just as good as our attorneys are. And you know, I know both Alicia and Dearica would agree with me that, you know, having a witness who can really destroy the other side's attorney on a cross-examination is amazing. It just makes all the difference. So when we get these packets, we prepare for tournaments. And right now we have 2 competing teams, and our teams are made up of between 6 to 10 people. And we try not to put too many roles on one person, because it really can get intensive in terms of the amount of time you dedicate to it. So if I can have a team of 10 people and divide those roles out and not have someone doing too many roles, that's great. So we need people who are dedicated, people who are committed to this and can give us the time in terms of saying, yes, I'm going to take on these roles, and I really want to commit, and I really want to learn this information. We teach you everything you need to know about the rules of evidence. We're going to teach you presentation. And like I said, I'm going to keep coming back to Alicia and Dearica because I'm looking on my list and I don't see anybody else from the team yet. But I think both of them would tell you that before they started, they didn't know anything about the rules of evidence or the presentation. But in a year on the team, we spent that year working with them really hard. and we work with you and we're going to teach you these skills. So don't worry. Don't ever panic that you don't know what's going on. We're there. That's what our job is as coaches. And when I say coaches, yes, I'm one of the coaches. We have some amazing local attorneys who are faculty, adjunct faculty, alumni. They all come out and they volunteer and they work with you guys. And that's how we help you guys learn this whole process. So we go to competitions. The competitions are normally 4 rounds. So if you consider that each case has 2 sides, so this year is a civil case, so there'll be a plaintiff side and a defense side. We're expected to prepare both sides of the case, and we will take that case to trial 4 times in a tournament. 2 sides as the plaintiff, 2 sides as the defense. Okay? So once we do that, we will end up seeing how we did. All right. So we consistently qualify to move out of our regional tournaments into the next level in February. Our competitions start in October, and we run through competitions until March. We try to go to as many competitions as possible from October through December, and then we go in February and March. It's always on the weekend, and I guess we can talk COVID world now, because I think that's going to be, it's kind of weird this time. Last year we were on the road. How many tournaments did you guys go to? I can't remember.
3.
I think we went to 4.
Well, yeah, like 4 including regionals.
Yeah. How many did you go to, Alicia?
3 invitationals and then regionals.
Okay. Yeah, so we try to get it to as many tournaments as possible. So we would travel, we get SGA funding to travel. Normally we would charge a copay to students. So an example of that would be that we would say, okay, the team is covering your cost, which is travel, and a lot of times that's airfare, hotels, car rentals, etc. And we would charge the students $50 for an entire weekend's travel. Guess what? In the world of COVID, things have gotten a little bit different. We're not anticipating that we're actually going to be traveling anywhere. We're going to be doing all of our tournaments via Zoom, which is going to make things very interesting. So I guess that's kind of one of the neat things for us to consider is that, A, if you are not in the Orlando area, it doesn't mean that you can't join the team. It means you can join the team, because we're going to be practicing on Zoom, because our competitions are going to be on Zoom. So this is how we have to learn the process. We are going to be doing most of our competitions, if not all of them, even the ones that count in February and March, on Zoom. So I think it's going to be a really interesting world. We're all going to have to get very computer savvy and learn how to manage all of this in real time. I have no idea how it's going to work. I was actually just coordinating a tournament for Arizona, guys. Never done a tournament in Arizona. So welcome to the world of time change. I don't know how that's going to work yet. So that's kind of like some of the neat things that we do in terms of the tournaments. I guess I'll stop now. Does somebody have questions? Does anyone have questions for me? No?
So I have a couple friends that couldn't make it to this informational. So one of them was just wondering if there was another informational coming up anytime soon.
We will probably do one more. So if they want to join us tonight, we're going to definitely answer more questions tonight about the session. And then this whole session that we're doing right now, we are actually recording it, and we're going to post it on our Facebook, or we'll figure out how to post it. I don't know where else. Hopefully we'll post it links to like Facebook, Instagram, in Advisor on Demand. We will get the information out there for students.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. So any questions about the team and like how you participate or other things, or about the competitions?
Yeah, I had a quick question.
Sure.
I was wondering, in terms of time commitment, how common it is for someone to participate in both moot court and mock trial? Because I know that they're both, they both demand a lot of time and preparation and stuff.
So we have had multiple students participate in both moot court and mock trial. So I've had lots of students do both. Here's my view on moot court and mock trial and the coexistence. I think they're both incredibly demanding, and they are both incredibly valuable commitments to go to. The one thing that I always suggest to you is to make sure that if you're going to commit to us and to moot court, that you are aware of when your tournaments are, and you're letting people know that you are not overlapping tournaments. So that, I'll give you an example. We had a young lady who was on one of our teams last year who was moot court, and she's your president on moot court now. So she would always say, okay, I have a moot court tournament on this weekend, and I have a mock trial tournament on this weekend. So she was never in a position where these two were going to conflict. Now, mock trial, and I will let Alicia and Dearica speak to this because they really know in terms of how much time as a student it takes them to prepare. What mock trial demands from you. I don't know what they can say as far as moot court.
Well, for me, as far as mock trial, my team had 3 practices a week. They were about like 2-ish hours. Sometimes they ran over, sometimes they were a little less. And then you'd spend time like practicing and like formulating questions or like answers, reading through the case packet. So I don't know, I'd say like about 6-ish to 8-ish hours, maybe like actual meetings, and then just as much time as possible for everything else.
Yeah, for me, especially outside of the meetings, don't expect for the meetings to be the only place that you're working on your case, and the meetings to be the only place that you're interacting with your teammates. Outside of meetings, all the time I'm contacting teammates, trying to work together with questions that we're trying to formulate, ideas that we're trying to create with the case. So expect that a lot of time outside of meetings and tournaments that you're going to be working on mock trial stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Students normally to expect, I would say, 10 to 15 hours of mock trial when we're not getting ready for a tournament. Does that sound about fair?
Like when we're not getting ready for a tournament?
Yeah. When we're getting ready for a tournament, it cranks up a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Right before, it's just like a ton of practices, a ton of out of practice meetings. Like you'll meet with all of your team like at a restaurant, at someone's apartment, just somewhere to keep practicing stuff.
Right.
Okay, thank you so much.
Right. Any other questions? No? So we have planned to have our tryouts. Our hope is that we're going to be posting our tryout information shortly. We have our packet ready. And the way our tryouts have always worked, and they're not going to work this way right now, at least we're not sure how they're going to work. We're really waiting. OSI has not released yet how RSOs are going to be doing their meetings yet. So normally what we would do is we would give you a tryout packet and we would say, prepare a closing argument for us. And if you want to be a witness, we want to see what you can do with the witness role. And let me break these two ideas down. If you want to try out as an attorney, then we want you to prepare a closing argument, and we're going to give you the information in this packet, and you can contact me for all more of the information. And my email is drk@ucf.edu, and I'll give you all of the information you need to know about it. We want you to prepare a closing argument, and I've got links in the packet if you've never prepared a closing argument before, and if you want me to put you in touch with some people like Alicia and Dearica and some of our other trial team members, we will put you in touch with them and they can help you If you've never written a closing argument before, get ready to do this. And we want you to write a direct. We don't expect you to be perfect. Don't panic. Don't worry. We know you've never done it before. Most of you will have absolutely clueless. That's okay. It's not going to bother us at all. All right. Don't worry about that. We know you're going to be so nervous. It's going to be ridiculous. So Alicia and Derica, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous were you guys at tryouts?
Like, honestly, probably like a 7.
Like a 9.
Yeah, so don't worry about it, all right? And you're gonna, if you want to try it as a witness, what we're gonna ask you to do is, what we would normally say is, here is the affidavit that the witness has, because we have some rules on what witnesses can say. Show us what a witness would be. So I don't know how many of you all out there who are in the room have done high school mock trial or actually seen high school mock trial. Has anybody who's here? I mean, I know Alicia did.
I have.
Okay. Anybody else?
I have.
So I got 1 or 2 of you guys have done it, right? Okay. So high school mock trial, I think, is kind of interesting in the sense that they really limit what witnesses can do. They're like, no costumes, no props, no character. You just got to be boring and dull and whatever. College mock trial, it's all about the costume. It's all about the props. It's all about the character, the persona. What can you do with this? And now, when you consider that we're going to be in this video world, I think there's just so much more that is out there to do. And I'm going to give you an example. I just judged my very first mock trial, Zoom mock trial, and this young man was playing a witness, and he's sitting in the chair, and he's got his cowboy hat on because that's the witness he was playing. But I'm just thinking, looking at him in this chair, in this background, that he could have decorated the background as the office for the character he was playing. You have so much more space that you can use around you. You can dress up, you can do things. So if you're going to try out for a witness, show us who you think this witness is. You know, all witnesses are not angels. They're meant to be sleazy people sometimes. They're supposed to be crazy people sometimes. They're supposed to be people that you're like, I would not let you babysit my hamster because you're a terrible person. That's okay. That's the character. That's what's going to get you the points. We want people who are just like, you are, But sometimes we want the really sympathetic person. They're like, oh my God, you make me cry. I believe that it was your child, your spouse, your parent that was hurt or injured or died or whatever it might be. So show us what you can do. You know, we believe that you have 30 years on law enforcement, or that you're a doctor with 25 years experience. That's what we're looking for in witnesses. We're going to send out this packet that's going to show you how, and it's going to have directions on how you're going to post your tryouts. It's all going to be through video tryouts. So you're going to have lots of time to prepare this. And you can try out for both an attorney and a witness, because I think both Alicia and Derica played both attorneys and witnesses throughout the year. And I'm trying to think, we had almost everybody on the team last year, on all our teams, who were both attorneys and witnesses. I think there were maybe only 1 or 2 people who didn't have both roles, unless I'm mistaken. So I really think we've got lots of opportunities out there. So we're going to post that, and tryouts happen after the first week of classes. Because we are an RSO, we're not allowed to have tryouts or do any type of recruiting during that first week of classes. But if you want to get that information, you can definitely contact me, and I will send you the packet, and you can start preparing early on, and you'll have lots of time to work with it. All right? Are there any other questions about us? I feel like I've been doing all the talking. I haven't really answered any questions, but I hope I've kind of answered your questions, and that's why there are no questions. No? I feel like I'm teaching a class. It's so quiet. It's like when I'm teaching, it's always so quiet. And I'm like, any questions, please?
I mean, I have another question, I guess.
Sure.
So what is like, do you have another example of a difference between high school mock trial and college mock trial, maybe in terms of like what attorneys do or something like that, the rules?
So Alicia, you did high school mock trial. What's a big difference?
Attorneys. I think there's, or both, but like attorneys, especially you'll see in like closing arguments, they're a lot longer. They're like double the time that you're going to be doing that. And it's like more in depth. There's more rules of evidence, a lot more. So you have to know that even more than you know in high school. And as far as witnesses, really just what she said about how the character is so important, and attorneys and witnesses hold so much in their hands for our scores. So everyone has to be a team together. You can't have someone going off or like any of that. You have to be one cohesive unit, and that's just so much more important when the trials are longer and when everything needs to come together as one.
Yeah, the trials are much longer in college, aren't they? How long are they in high school?
It depends, but you don't have like an all lost or anything. It's just, it goes pretty much for as long as it goes, but you do have like time limits. So it's like 5 opening, 5 closing, stuff like
Yeah.
that in Florida, but other states do it differently too.
Yeah. I think one of the probably biggest differences between high school and college is that invention of fact. Yeah, that objection. The high school, you're allowed to object invention of fact and show the judges the packet and say, oh, this isn't in their packet, so it's an invention of fact. You can't do that in college. And that has been a big brouhaha. You have to learn as an attorney to either impeach someone or find a way around and prove that they're lying and demonstrate that.
Oh, and there's more witnesses. You have things called captains in college, and they're like meetings. You don't have that in high school because you have 3 witnesses on each side. Your attorneys are set. In college, a lot of the time you have multiple witnesses that you're dealing with. You can have multiple crosses. So I just think the amount of information, your case packet is much longer in college. There's more exhibits. Each affidavit is longer. So it's just high school, but to an extreme, kind of.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
it's high school, but extreme high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot there. So, any other questions? I think somebody else had a question just now.
What kind of like time commitment would you say? Like maybe hours per week, which I know you said it varies when you get closer to the trial.
So normally we try. So when we practice, I'll give you a normal practice. So we would start normally at 6 o'clock. And we'd go 6 to 8, 8:30, twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. We'd meet twice a week and then once on the weekends. And then as we get closer to a tournament, we might do an extra practice closer to a tournament. So you're talking maybe about 10 to 15 hours during a week. You know, sometimes when I coach, at least the team I coach, I require you to make 2 out of 3 practices. So you need to be able to be there working with the team 2 out of 3 practices, whether it's a Monday, Wednesday, or I think we always met Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. And that's usually what the teams do, is they'll meet twice during a week and once on the weekend. So as long as you're meeting with your people twice out of those 3 meetings, then that's what really happens. The problem we have is that we can't have people who only meet once or only meet once with their person outside, because what's really interesting is when you start to run your material repeatedly in front of the team, that's where some of the creativity comes from, because other people are watching you run your directs and your crosses, and you're getting input, and it's constantly evolving and changing because you're hearing it over and saying, that's not really working. that's not really flowing. People aren't really liking it. Or you're also hearing people say, you know what, this is a better way to answer it. So that's why we try to make sure that you're there at least 2 practices. I think it's going to be interesting because I think we're going to be running a lot more of our practices this year on Zoom and very few of them in person, because people have got to get used to talking into the camera, speaking directly to the camera, having that kind of response and developing the body language that they need for video presentations.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Other questions?
And that there were 2 teams. What, is there any difference between the 2, or do you guys just have 2 to compete?
So we have 2 different teams this year. We normally graduate about half of our members every year. And so we've consolidated ourselves down to 2 teams this year. I don't want to run 3 teams. I want us to really focus on being 2 strong teams. We have the senior team, and then we'll have the non-senior team. So I coach the non-senior team, and then Dr. Cashman will coach our senior team. So the senior team is going to be the one that is going to be expected to really get killed more frequently than not. They're going to get pushed a lot harder and a lot faster. The team I coach, we're going to probably have a lot more new people, and I will be doing a lot more teaching there.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I have a question as well. Would you be able to please explain like the process once the application has been like submitted and after tryouts? Like, is there anything else that that goes on, which determines like if you get accepted to the team or not?
Sure. So what we'll do is we'll send you the tryout packet, and the tryout packet's going to give you all the information for loading your videos. You load your videos, and then we will review your videos. At the same time, there is going to be a link to a Google form, which gives us information about you. So our tryouts are going to be 2 steps this year because of all of the stuff going on with COVID. So step 1 is going to be you giving us your tryout videos so that we can see how you do your public speaking, how you perform. And then step 2 is a interview session that's going to be a Zoom session. So once you've done the videos and you've done the Google form, which tells us who you are, then we'll send you a link to the Zoom session where we will do kind of like a chat session with you, an interview session, and we'll get to know you a little bit. And once all of that is done after the first week of classes, we'll send you an email and let you know whether we are offering you a slot as a competing member or a non-competing member. Now, I think this is really important for everyone to understand. If we offer you a slot as a non-competing member, it does not mean we think you are terrible, we think you have no hope, go away, we don't like you. That is not what it means. It means that right this second, at that point in time, we don't think you're ready to compete. But it doesn't mean that we don't think that we can't get you to that point. And if we offer you a slot as a non-competing member, I am telling you, please stick with us. Come to the meetings. We'll assign you. We'll let you come to, we'll say, come to either Dr. Cashman's or come to my team's practices. Join us. You still get the case packet. We'll give you roles. We've taken non-competes and we say, you're jumping into this role because a competing person can't be there. You need to be there to compete. We need you to step up. Every year that I have coached, I have had somebody who started as a non-compete, stuck with the team, and by the time we made it to the regional competitions in February, they were a competing member. All right, I've had non-competes who stuck with me from the time of tryouts who were winning awards as outstanding witnesses at the end of the season. But it takes commitment from a non-competing person who says, okay, at the very beginning, I didn't get offered a competing slot, but I stayed with the program, I stayed with the team, I continued to work with them, and they taught me what I needed to know to get there, and boom, by halfway through the season, I was competing, right? Now, this is another part that I haven't kind of really touched on is, what if you don't want to compete? Okay, I get it. Some people just don't want to compete. They're really nervous about it, and they say to themselves, I don't want to compete. What can I do? How do I still stay involved? Well, believe it or not, We love timekeepers because we actually do need timekeepers on our team. And you can be involved and be a timekeeper, and you don't have to actually do anything other than say time. And people that way don't have to learn how to timekeep. Because Dearica, do you know how to timekeep? I don't think Dearica knows how to timekeep yet. That's one of those. Did you ever learn to timekeep?
I don't. I don't know how
Yeah,
to.
she never learned to timekeep. Alicia, did you learn to timekeep?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, see, there's a
No.
problem. There's a problem. Nobody wants to timekeep. But if you wanted to be involved and you just don't want, you're not ready for it. I don't want to say you're afraid about it. I want to say that you're just unsure. Then come out, join, be a timekeeper, okay? Maybe you just like being involved, and maybe you're more about maybe you're more about being in the organization and helping us with fundraising. Maybe you're more about helping us with media, social media, with organizational work, all of that kind of stuff. You can join as a non-compete and help us with that. You don't necessarily have to be a competing member. I've had plenty of students who have done that as well. I think people just kind of focus on that side of the trial team more than the other side. So if you want to join us as a non-compete, you don't even have to touch the competing packet. Just contact me and I'll put you in touch with our secretary. And Alicia, are you the secretary?
Dearica.
Dearica is. Okay. Yeah. So Dearica you just get in touch with Dearica, and she can go ahead and get you all the information with the forms so that you can register and join the team, and boom, you're done. Okay. Any other questions? I kind of hit everything. Maybe.
Oh wait, I want to say something really quick.
Sure.
So when she was talking about like you'll be assigned as like a witness or an attorney, that doesn't mean that's gonna stick, because I was brought onto the team as a witness after my tryout, because that's what I tried out for. And then in like the first 2 weeks of practices, my coach was like, "You're gonna try out as an attorney," and then I did, and then I was the prosecution closer for the rest of the year. So it's like you're gonna get put in the spot that you're right for. It doesn't mean that's what you're gonna try out as, and you're probably not gonna stick with the same witnesses throughout the year, the same roles throughout the year. It's going to change a lot after case changes, everything, but just like trust the process, trust that you're going to be put where you need to be put, and that you'll learn everything you need to know by the time you're competing for real in February. Yeah, that's
But it's true. It is trusting the process, because we're always moving people around until we feel like we just got the right fit of people in roles and witnesses and directs and crosses. It really is a team. It's not about any one person being a superstar. It's how do we get this team to really gel and work together. So, all right, any other questions from anybody?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
What was the earliest that we were able to like get started on the packet?
If you can email me right after this and I'll send it to you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
And your email, and what was the email?
Okay, so my email is drk@ucf.edu.
Got it. Okay. And what are the GPA requirements to join?
You have to have a 2.0.
Oh, okay.
The requirements, because we are an RSO, is that you have to have a 2.0. You have to be a full-time student at UCF, or we are open to Valencia students as well. So if you know somebody, if you have a friend or someone who is a student at Valencia as well, we are open to Valencia students, which is something new.
And do we just email you our interest in joining the team?
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? No? All right. Well, I really appreciate you guys being here. I am glad. I hope I could answer all of your questions. And if there's a question you didn't want to ask me because we were on the session, just go ahead and you guys got my email again, drk@ucf.edu. Send me an email with any other questions you can think of. You can send it at any time and I will go ahead and answer them. Like I said, we're going to post this video if you have friends. If you have time tonight at 6 o'clock, we are doing Law and Order, the retrial, because we got hacked last week and it was terrible. That was just a terrible, terrible, terrible event last week. But yeah, we're going to do our little retrial, and tonight's little event is based on the case that we had this year. So just go ahead and let me know if any other questions. All right, but if not, I hope to see you guys. Did you have a question?
Yes, I'm sorry. For some reason, I heard you say DRK, D as in dog. Is that what your email is?
Yes, so it's D as in dog, R as in Robert, K as in kangaroo, at UCF.edu.
Got it. Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure. All right. Yeah, so I hope you guys join us tonight for our little session at 6 o'clock. And like I said, you share this with your friends, let them know. And if anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. And thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Dearica, for you guys joining and answering questions. And if you guys want to reach out to any of them, just let me know and I'll put you in touch with team members. And I know that they're both absolutely willing to answer and help you guys with any questions as we go along. All right. Great. Thanks so much. I will see you all soon.